Hi everybody, I have been trying to make this video for like an hour now and Windows Movie Maker is just being a jerk. How far along? I am 31 weeks today. I am reviewing week 30. Baby this week is the size of a small clawed otter or a foam finger, which seems huge. That just seems like really foam fingers. They're giant, so whatever, but his rolling motions definitely feel like an otter playing in my belly, so I could see that. Total weight gain, weight loss, I think I am up 7 pounds. Stretch marks, no new ones. I did see on my hip today that one of my old ones is more noticeable. It's not pink or red. It's still white, but I feel like it's more noticeable. Like slathering myself with oils and with lotions all day, every day. My stomach is just like lotioned up. Sleep is still pretty good. Last night my sleep was terrible, but that was because sick kid fell out of bed, and to be honest, I couldn't get to sleep because once in a while, everything that happened with Huckleberry Finn back in December just really hits me, and it hits me for really hard for a few hours, and I kind of, it's not like panic attack, but it's kind of a panic attack of, I still feel very guilty over what happened, and I know that I could not have changed anything. I know that nothing could have been done. There is still to this day nothing that was found, no reason, no diagnosis that was found. I just still feel very guilty and very responsible and very sad about it. I am sure pregnancy heightened emotions and such have a big part to play in that, but yeah, every once in a while it just hits me, and last night it hit me really hard and I could not get to sleep. Last night's sleep sucked, but other than that, sleep is still pretty good. I am having more SPD pain during sleeping hours than waking hours. So I have been wearing my maternity belt most of the time and still working on keeping my knees together when I roll over from one side to another, trying to roll onto my side and then push up instead of trying to just like be laying on my back and sit up. Trying to make sure that I get out of bed with both feet on the ground at the same time, that kind of thing. I do sleep on my side, but I do still like sleeping on my back. And when I sleep on my back, I've been trying to make sure that I'm sleeping on my big pregnancy pillow so that I'm like at an angle, not totally flat. But I'm not having any issues with that right now. And from everything I've been seeing, as long as baby's still moving and as long as I'm not feeling like really short of breath and things like that, it's okay. So anyway, let me ramble about sleep a little bit more. Best moment of the week was actually not like my own moment. It was a lot of celebrating this past week. It was the anniversary of my kids coming home to us, which is always fun. And it was also my husband's birthday yesterday. So we had a birthday dinner out on Saturday night, and his aunt and one of our friends was there, and they both got to feel baby move. So our friend has never felt a baby move, and she's been very excited, but it just hasn't happened yet. So she got to feel him, and she was really excited about that. Unfortunately, she didn't really feel anything big. She only felt some hiccups, and his hiccups are very light on the outside. I can feel them pretty well, but from the outside, I think they're very light. But his aunt, they are an infertile couple as well, and they tried for years and years and years, and they never beat infertility. And there was a couple years that we were actually trying at the same time. They still were trying, and knowing that when we were comfortable announcing that we were pregnant, I felt extremely guilty when we told her that we were pregnant. It was like survivor's guilt type of thing. And so she had asked a couple weeks ago at her birthday party to feel a baby, and unfortunately, he was asleep for the majority of that time. And when he was awake, she was really busy with a couple other people at her party, since, it was her party. So she didn't get to feel him that night, and he was moving around. So I said, "Hey, do you want to feel him? He's moving." So she got to feel him, and seeing her face light up with that was like just a really great moment. The movement, nothing has really changed except the intensity of his movement, I guess. It's definitely a lot stronger this week. His rolls are much more big and pronounced, and the belly contortions with his motions are much bigger. And there are a few times where there's an elbow coming all the way up and over where it kind of hurts, but I am loving even that. So other than that, movement hasn't changed much. He still has a pattern, and it's a really good pattern, so I'm really hoping he stays with it. And I just love his motions. I just love his movements. Every time he moves, I say hi, and I talk to him, and I rub my belly, and I poke at him, and I try and see if I can figure out whether he's butt up or butt down. His favorite position to be in is butt right up into my ribs, with his feet like curled up into himself, but then the rest of him, like his torso and his head, just stretched down. So I still feel like essentially I'm carrying fairly high in general, but like his hips and butt and legs are all scrunched up into my ribs, and then the rest of him is just kind of stretched out. So I feel like that's part of why I'm not like super giant out. Food cravings, none. Food aversion, still just the sugar thing, really. Anything making me queasy or sick. I did feel a little bit queasy Saturday night, Sunday morning, but mostly that was because, like I said, it was a lot of celebrating. It was a lot of treats over the last week. So that just kind of did me, and it was too much sugar. Labor signs, none really. I haven't really had too many Braxton Hicks. I've had a few today. And then other than that, throughout this past week, I've only had a few throughout the week total. So nothing big. Belly button is still in. My wedding rings are still on. Happy or moody most of the time, mostly happy. I have noticed if something makes me sad, it's a lot easier to cry. So I think the hormones of the third trimester, those last spurt of hormones in those last weeks, has definitely kind of started to kick in, which is kind of funny because I didn't have that with my first trimester, but there's also just a lot going on, so it could be that too. Let's see, milestones, nothing really big. In other news, my baby shower is this weekend, and I'm so excited. I just really didn't expect to have a baby shower, so I'm really excited that I get one. So our doula can no longer be our doula, and I'm really sad about that. We had everything set up, and she, for unforeseen reasons, cannot be our doula any longer, so I am on the search for a doula again, and we're getting kind of close to our due month, so it's gonna be kind of tricky, and especially because we are paying everything out of pocket, so we're trying to kind of have like a doula on a budget, essentially. So that's a big thing that happened this week, which stinks. And I also did find out that I might have a birth photographer. The person who usually takes our family pictures through the year is looking to expand her kind of portfolio into birth photography as well. And she has a bunch of weddings in May. So she said, as long as we're comfortable knowing that we might not have a birth photographer, she would love to set that up with us. And I said, at this point, we can't afford a birth photographer on top of everything else. So I was just kind of asking around doulas to make sure they were like comfortable with the DSLR that we have, to see if they would be willing to take pictures in down moments when I didn't need her. But other than that, we weren't going to have any pictures. So a solid maybe is better than not at all. So very excited about that. The possibility of having great pictures, especially with somebody who's taken pictures of us before and I really kind of know and trust, is really big. Hoping baby boy will not go during one of her weddings. But that's it. So I will insert pictures for you guys and I will talk to you soon. Bye.